What's good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla stock, what's going on with Apple and the overall market, talk about the big event that's about to start very, very soon, and also what's going on with tomorrow, as I have a very important warning for everyone. But before I do anything like this, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends in just about 2 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market. So when it comes to Tesla, I want to warn everyone that just as we expected, Tesla would start selling off, and that is what's happening so far. We got this little pop right over here. You can see Tesla popped about 278, and after that started to sell off quite a bit, and this is what we were expecting. Now, 270s are critical support. If that breaks, 268 is going to be the next level close to the 50 EMA. Then we have 266 below that. As of right now, Tesla's testing these supports, so it's very important to watch for, but it's looking more bearish overall as of right now. However, there are two things you have to remember about the market going into the next trading day. Number one, in the next couple of minutes, we have the Aapl event starting. This is going to be starting at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time or at about 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is starting within like 20 minutes from the time I'm recording this. It's coming out very, very soon, and this is going to be very big. Now, Aapl has been selling off so far, approaching the event. It's down 1.57% as of right now. I don't know if Apple's going to get a crazy bounce thanks to some new product coming out or something unexpected, or if Apple's going to continue to sink. That I can't truly tell you. I don't truly know. And whatever Apple does is going to dictate the market. If Apple gets a big bounce and there's some very, very bullish news coming out, this could help Tesla bounce technically. Tesla could make a nice move to the upside. If Apple ends up sinking very hard, this could drag Tesla down even lower. Now, I don't truly know what's going to happen with the event, so we have to just wait and see what is announced, what is unveiled, and how on earth this affects Apple. But as of right now, from a technical standpoint, Tesla is looking weaker. Apple's also looking weak, and we will see what happens after that. Now, after the event ends, I want to remind everyone we have market close today. And this is going to be a big opportunity for lots of investors because you have to remember we have CPI coming out for tomorrow. Okay? CPI comes out 1 hour before the market opens. CPI is expected to be a little bit hot year over year, so a slight increase. And we will see if it's aligned with expectations or not. We're expecting 3.5 to 3.6% for CPI. And for core, we want it to be around 4.4% around there or lower. Now, it all depends on, the numbers we end up getting. I can't predict this. So if you're willing to hold a position overnight, that's your choice. That's your risk. Do whatever you want. I just want to let you guys know that there's a risk involved in doing so. Nobody knows what CPI is truly going to be unless they're like an insider or something. So it's risky. Be very careful with CPI. It's coming out tomorrow before the market opens. Do what you have to do, guys. That's your own choice. But for now, we're approaching the big event. Tesla's continuing to sell off a little bit. The next critical support is very close to this 268 area. Tesla is still looking weak. I want to be honest with everyone. It's looking weak right now. And when this happens, yeah, there could be a change with this Aapl event, but it really depends on all these different factors. So if you're holding positions on Tesla or doing anything, do what you got to do, but just remember CPI comes out for tomorrow, and that could cause a bigger move in either direction. If we get a good CPI, we could easily see Tesla push back to like 275 plus or higher, back to 278 possibly. If we get a bad CPI, CPI is a little bit hotter than expected, hotter than the expectations, which I will talk about in my later video. Tesla could start sinking even lower into like the 260 area or even lower than that into the 250s. Okay, so I just want to warn you about that. Now, as far as SPY goes, I just want to mention that very similar to what we were expecting, a little pop when we opened and sideways price action. We actually dropped a little bit more than expected before coming back, and we're just continuing to trade sideways. Still not looking that horrible. We're about to get a bullish cross in the PPR. At least we're very close to doing so, but it won't really matter that much because what matters more now is going to be Aapl. What does Aapl cause? Do technicals even matter that much? To some extent, yes, but for the most part, not entirely. Aapl is going to dictate how this thing moves. So if Aapl causes a pump, we could see 448 on SPY. If it's the opposite, 446.5 is going to be a key support. If that breaks, 446.1 is a possibility. Now, with that said, that all is going to cause some high volatility. Then we have CPI. A good CPI could pump SPY to start pushing up towards this gap right here. We have this gap up around I think we had this gap around this high gap all the way up to like 456. We could be getting very close to that if we get a very good CPI and the market pumps like crazy. There's also this gap here that's unfilled technically around 451. So we could see some gaps getting filled if we end up getting a decent CPI. If it's the opposite, we could see SPY tank towards 443 or even towards 440 flat. I think we have a gap down here around 440. It's going to come all the way down there if we get a bad CPI. So I just want to prepare you guys for this. The move is going to happen overnight. It's going to happen before the market ends up opening tomorrow. So just be prepared for that. On the triple Q, looking a little bit weak thanks to Apple and also because of Tesla. We made an attempt to break out, but we ended up failing. So you're going to be watching to see what happens with Apple's event. If it bounces, you're going to be watching some volatility around this 375 area. Then after CPI, 378 is a possibility. We could even get close to like 380. If it's a bad CPI, this thing is going to sink all the way down back to the high 360s. So there's a risk, guys. A big move is coming. Nvidia tried to bounce a little bit. I was expecting it to try to retest like 455 yesterday, then just kind of trade sideways. That's all we're doing on Nvidia. So it is showing some life, but overall, not looking too strong, not too horrible today, but not too strong at the same time. We're going to be watching it just kind of range trade for a bit, then react to Apple's big event, and we'll see if this causes any volatility. It's just getting tighter and tighter right now, so a wedge is forming. We'll see if there's a big move for CPI. I think it's set for a much larger move for CPI, and it may just remain very flat for the day. That seems more probable from a technical standpoint, but we'll see what Apple causes. Anyways, I think I went over the majority of the stocks for now. With that said, guys, get ready for Apple's big event. This is going to be very telling and very big for the markets. And once again, do not forget about CPI. Just for a couple of others, just as a reminder about the VIX, the VIX got this like bounce, but don't forget we have this big gap below. So if CPI is going to cause the market to like push even higher, or if Apple's event causes that, we do have this gap below on the VIX, which could lead to some upside in the markets if the VIX ends up filling these gaps below. There's also a much bigger one all the way down around the very, very low 13s. So if the VIX ends up collapsing with the head and shoulders, this can be bullish for the markets. We're just waiting to see if that ends up happening. Just want to be as patient as possible. The dollar is also kind of flat. It's actually looking a little bit more bearish as the market is bounced. So we'll see if this ends up getting a break above 105 again, or if this thing continues to sink towards support. That's going to be very telling. Anyways, Meta is a little bit weak, hitting 302. We were talking about this potentially trading sideways around the 305. So we actually went a little bit lower, approaching our 200 EMA. It may just continue to chop, then reacts to Apple. Same thing with Amazon. We were expecting a pop on Amazon, so it came very close to this like 142.5 area. Then it got rejected, came down a bit before bouncing, still showing some life, but it's kind of sideways for the most part. All right, so anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you all so much for listening. Get ready for Apple's big event, and don't forget CPI comes out for tomorrow. Do what you have to do, expect some volatility, and manage risks based off your own accords. Thank you, and peace out.